Back in the 1990s, before the area was cleared to make way for the construction of the TT Bridge as it is today, NTT Street in BT District was a bustling area filled with dog meat restaurants, much like the NT area in HN City. The restaurants serving the famous 7 dishes of dog meat were fragrant every day with the smells of grilling, frying, and richly seasoned meat. Among the dog meat restaurant owners along NTT Street was one particularly skilled proprietor, known as an exceptionally ruthless dog killer. With just a single blow of his hammer, a dog would barely have time to yelp once before dying instantly. Several years passed after he opened his restaurant, and the family lived a fairly comfortable life. Each day, they slaughtered 1 or 2 dogs to serve their customers, and business was steady. He had 3 sons. At the time, the eldest was about 12 years old, the second was around 10, and the youngest was about 5. Everything went smoothly until one day, when his 12-year-old son suddenly developed a strange illness. During the day, the boy became afraid of light. At night, he liked to crawl underneath the table, making mournful sounds that resembled cries of anguish. Gradually, his condition grew worse. Every night, the child would let out long, miserable howls. Strangely, his eyes seemed to glow brightly in the darkness. The restaurant owner and his wife were devastated. He took his son everywhere seeking treatment. Whenever someone recommended a doctor or healer who was said to be skilled, the couple would travel long distances to bring their child there. Yet no matter what they tried, their son's illness showed no sign of improvement. At this point, the restaurant became even more crowded. Part of the reason was simple curiosity. People came just to see the child who suffered from such a strange illness with their own eyes. Then, another tragedy struck. The man's second son also developed the same mysterious condition as his older brother. Night after night, one brother would howl from beneath the bed while the other cried out from inside a cabinet. Their mournful and agonized cries echoed through the night. By then, the neighbors began to suspect that the sounds resembled the sorrowful howling of dogs. Quietly, they whispered among themselves and gently advised the restaurant owner and his wife to give up the trade. But the couple did not believe that karmic retribution existed in this world. They ignored all the sincere warnings and advice from their neighbors. Every week, they continued taking their 2 sons to different places for treatment, desperately hoping that one day their children would recover. All the money they had painstakingly saved over the years was poured into medical treatment for their sons. Yet misfortune still refused to leave their family alone. One day, the youngest son suddenly became afraid of light as well. Terrified that the only child who was still healthy and mentally alert would suffer the same fate as his 2 brothers, the couple immediately took him to see doctors and obtain medicine. But in the end, just like his 2 older brothers, the youngest child also began howling in agony at night. From then on, 3 pairs of eyes would shine eerily in the darkness, while one howl followed another throughout the night. The neighbors could no longer bear the disturbing cries. It was then that the couple seemed to finally awaken to what was happening. Little by little, they closed down their restaurant. In sorrow, they took their 3 sons and left the area, moving to another place. It has now been about 20 years, and no one knows whether they are still alive or what became of them. As for the other nearby dog meat restaurants, after witnessing what they believed to be the karmic retribution suffered by that family, the owners became frightened. One after another, some sold their restaurants while others abandoned the trade altogether. Today, NTT Street near the foot of the TT Bridge has been widened and transformed. Not a trace of the old dog meat restaurants remains. Yet some long-time residents who have lived in the area for decades still remember the strange story from those days.